I welcome you this evening. It's July 10th, 2025, the Board of Zoning Adjustments, and I call it to order. It is currently my time, 6:03. Mr. Secretary, would you mind giving us a roll call, please?
All right. Ms. Childs.
Here.
Mr. Nieves. Ms. Hand.
Here.
Mr. Johnson.
Here.
Mr. Armstead. Mr. Gear.
Here.
And Mr. Perkle.
Here. Mr. Secretary, do we have a quorum?
Yes, you do.
Thank you.
Yes, you have.
Moving to the next part of our agenda, the meeting minutes for June 5th. I know they're not available, and so we will we'll act upon them on the next meeting. I'd like to go into our next part just for the applicants that are here tonight. I want to read this aloud. This board is composed of 5 persons with 2 supernumeraries and is empowered by the state legislature of Alabama, but appointed by the City Council, and is charged with hearing petitions for relief from a literal and a strict application of the zoning code. Cases are heard in the order in which they are filed. Motions are made in a positive, and each case requires a positive vote of at least 4 members. A simple majority will not approve an action. The burden of proof for variance and special exemptions rests with the petitioner. Variances granted shall lapse and be of no effect after the expiration of 1 year from the date of such approval. No construction pursuant to such variance has taken place, provided that the Board of Zoning Adjustment may, for good cause shown, specify a longer period of time in conjunction with its actions to grant the variance. Any party aggrieved by any decision of this board may within 15 days file a written notice of appeal to the circuit court. And with that being said, next item here is our communications from the chair and vice chair. I currently have no communications. Vice chair? No. Thank you. We'll move in here to old business, and currently on our agenda there's no old business, so we will move to new business. Our first case is going to be SV 250701, address 208 Devon Drive. May you please approach, state your name and address, and write that down for us, please.
Yeah, I did that earlier right up here. I'm Greg Gilbert. This is my fellow property owner, my wife Michelle. We're at 208 Devon Drive. Okay, so thank you for allowing us to discuss this. So we submitted our application, and this is basically for landscaping changes on our property, plus placing a new permeable parking pad. Okay, so emphasis permeable, not impermeable, as well as repairing a sidewalk. Okay, the current impervious percentage is about 57%. After this, it will be 57% approximately. Okay, we actually will reduce it, the percent impervious, but only by 48 square feet. So essentially, from a practical standpoint, it's not changing the impervious aspect. So where did this all begin? The big picture genesis was a desire to improve a front yard eyesore, but ultimately evolved to also and mainly address a safety issue, because Devon Drive is a narrow street right in front of our house. Okay, so let me go back to those 2 points. The front yard eyesore. Now, I'm a dentist, not a zoning engineer. My understanding is that this does not qualify for hardship, but to me it's still relevant. I think the second is a hardship qualification, but let me start with this one. So there's a big ugly brown spot in our front yard, so it's a quality of life or neighborhood aesthetic issue, and I included a photo of that in the packet. So that's how it began, and so we said, well, we'll do some, set up a watering system. Surely that will take care of it. No, all we got out of that is a more frequent need to cut the lawn, okay? So then later said, well, we'll put some new grass. It died, at that spot. the third one was, okay, we'll put some sod there. It died, okay, so it remains ugly, okay. So it will be a net aesthetic improvement. But again, the second issue is, I think, the more compelling one. It has to do with the safety issue. Devon Drive is a narrow street, particularly in this part of our drive. Our house is, for about a 2-block area, is relatively flat. Beginning at my neighbor's house, right next door on the eastern part, that begins a 30-degree downslope. They're going from down the hill toward Windsor Drive, right in front of the urology centers of America. Okay, so the problem there is it creates a blind spot. So people going down or up creates a blind spot. And might not be an issue if everyone drove the speed limit, but we have a lot of speeders and they come up, particularly teenagers assume that there's no way that someone could be coming down the hill on the other end. So it creates a real safety issue. But it really struck home to me a couple, maybe 3 months ago. I was driving my neighborhood. Shades Cahaba Elementary has busy traffic at the beginning, at the end of each day. I know a lot about the end of the day because my wife and I tend to walk our dog about 3 p.m. And there's a caravan of about 25 to 30 kids who leave the south end of the property, cross Poinciana, and then progress up Poinciana. Now, for the first block, you'll actually see some supervision from adults, parents. But after that point, very seldom. And so they are walking, no parents, and walking unsupervised up Poinciana, take a right up Hampton, the hill, and then some of them continue on to take right Devon toward us. Well, many of them are very small, about the height of a car, and so I actually almost hit one day. Fortunately, I was driving below the speed limit, and it wasn't a problem. But I mentioned before this blind area, so I'm concerned that this might be a problem one day. So basically, we're concerned about that. Now, we're alleviating that because we are creating a off-street parking slot on it. So we're proposing to, in addition to the landscape, have a off-street parking slot, okay? So that's the key big picture items. Additional details are that we're actually reducing the current impervious square footage, but only by 48 square feet, but suffice to say we're actually reducing it. In our packet, we included engineering reports, well, I hope satisfactorily documents that we're not negatively impacting any water runoff. To my knowledge, no one's ever complained about it anyway, but we're actually reducing the impervious anyway, so I'm not sure if that's relevant. Finally, in that impervious calculation of 57%, assumes that our back porch is entirely impervious. Now, and that's just not practically speaking accurate. It is a porch in the back that's about 20 feet above ground, so there's fully pervious ground underneath that porch. Okay, I also included a photograph that immediately adjacent to our back, one of the sides of our house. It's about a 3-foot area where it's essentially flat and then angles down. This flat part does run off into and goes underneath the deck some. Plus, fortuitously, about 3 weeks ago, we had a major rainstorm, and we have a back porch that has outdoor furniture. The outdoor furniture lines basically the perimeter, and in the middle is a portable fireplace, gas fire pit. And I went out after that rain, and it struck home to me that not only was all the furniture wet, this fire pit had about an 1/8 of an inch layer of water above it. So clearly, water does not fall straight down. It blew in. So if it happens there, it also happens underneath our deck. So it would be fair to say that some of that ground is indeed pervious. So that's our basic argument, so we appreciate listening to our arguments. Any questions about any of that?
Well, before we open that up to the board for questions, I would like to open it up to the public to see if anyone has any comments or anything they'd like to present in front of us. I do not see anyone approaching for the record, and I do, for the record, like to state that we did receive an email of support. Mr. Secretary shared that with us, so the board members do have that.
That was from my neighbor, Matt Foley, I
That's
assume.
correct.
That's correct.
Okay,
Um,
good. I appreciate that.
With the public portion closed here, we will open it up here for the board to ask questions, and I'd like for you to stay up here and discuss that with us.
Okay, glad to.
Could you tell me more about this blind spot? I'm not sure I understand
Yeah.
how that relates.
So we're at the last house that's flat on Devon, and then there's about a 30-degree downslope from Matt Foley's house down toward Windsor Drive, okay? So 30-degree incline, okay? So when people, particularly when they come up, but also down, it's this limited sight distance. I've seen a sign in Homewood on one of the hills that said limited sight distance. We could probably have a limited sight distance sign there too. I'd love one day to have a bump thing. What do you call those? But that's a topic for another day. We can deal with high-speeding teenagers another day. Does that answer your question?
Oh, but how does it relate to your landscaping plan?
Because narrow street in Devon, if you have all-street parking, it improves the safety of that area. Yeah, this is my wife.
I would think that that should be, can she?
She's a co-owner of the property.
Yeah, okay, I just want to make
Yeah.
sure. Please come up and state your name.
Michelle Gilbert, and
Okay.
everyone parks on the street. My daughter parks in front of our house sometimes, and that's what everyone does in Homewood, and a lot of other people park there. So there's a sight problem there. So when people are parking there, my daughter parks there, those teenagers come up, and then you have kids walking around. People do not see those kids walking around a parked car in front of our house, because they're coming up, and the kid is walking around a car parked, my daughter's car parked in the front, and, they can be hit.
So so what
So
I'm
she could
inferring
park
is,
in the-
so what I'm inferring is that street parking creates the blind spot.
R-
Well, but
so,
there's still a
yeah,
blind
but
spot.
but there's also, because of a 30-degree angle going down, when people come up and even down, there's limited sight distance.
Oh, yeah, but I guess I still, do you guys explain it to me? I don't understand how that relates to the
It
landscaping.
relates to the
Because-
landscaping, because the
If you've got a
Pervious-
car at our location,
Yeah.
yes, there's another reason you can't even see a kid behind the car.
So we want our daughter to park in that spot.
Is the street parking?
So they're offering right here in this depiction here, right there, they're adding a side parking lot that's going to be what they're calling partial pervious, is that accurate?
Right, that's true, yeah.
And so they're offering, I guess their landscape design is going to be offering additional parking, is what they're
So it's
proposing.
Not on the street.
So it's not on the
Yeah.
street. That's,
Exactly, yeah.
I'm interpreting here.
Yeah, no,
you're-
that's exactly
yeah,
right.
that's accurate, yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Thanks.
So it'll be one less car on the street is what we're saying, yeah.
A question though, that you're having the parking pad and you talked about the dangerous sight distance, everything. Is the person who parks on that pad gonna have to back out into Devon Drive?
Yes.
Is that not a dangerous situation to be backing out right at that critical point you just described?
Well, it's always dangerous when you're backing out in Homewood. I mean,
Yeah.
kids are walking and all that.
Yeah, but you,
But it's not a kid walking around a parked car that's not movable. If you go at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in our area, there are kids everywhere unattended, dodging around cars, running around, and it's a danger. I mean, I keep saying to my husband, some child's gonna get hit, and then the parents are gonna think maybe they need to be walked with an adult. So it is a problem. And he almost hit one when one came behind a car that was parked on the street into our lane. Now, it wasn't right there, so, I mean, I'm not saying it was right
Yeah,
there.
I mean, our basic argument is if you get, the more cars you get off the street, then the safer, because it's a narrow street, so.
Okay, that's all right.
All right, thanks. All right, does that answer your question? Okay. Do you understand what I mean by blind, limited sight distance is probably the better term.
I understood that logic, but I was confused how your landscape
You get, because it gets an additional car off the street, and particularly at that location, and particularly since that's the transition point from flat to going down. I mean, actually, Matt Foley has, you know, if we have a car parked where we were just talking about when he's backing out, he can't see because our car's blocking the way. So.
Another question I had for you, I noticed where you're gonna have a sitting area gravel, and granted, that's semi-pervious. Have you considered possibly doing away with that to increase the permeability of the lot? Is that something absolutely necessary?
So again, I'm not a landscaper or a zoning engineer. What we did was we consulted a landscaping design person who did this, and these are her recommendations. And then our next step was to consult with the landscaping contractor, and they said that, you know, this is pervious. So is that answering your question?
Well, just to pose your willingness to possibly do away with that in order to be granted the variance. I guess that's the question.
Sure. I mean, so we're trying to accomplish two things with the landscaping aspect as well, to make it more aesthetic. We like sitting out there, and it's not going to be some enclosed area where we're blocking our view off from the street. So we like interacting with people if they're across the street or walking by a dog, you know, that sort of thing. So it's not an attempt to be secluded. So it's just a way to foster interaction in the neighborhood and make the place look better, basically. And for the off-street parking, make it safer.
Okay,
Is there
thank you.
a reason you can't park in your driveway? Because I only say that because a lot of Homewood people were forced to park behind our cars in the driveway to keep our cars off the street. Have you guys
Right.
considered that?
Because we also have two more park in the garage, and then you got to get back there. So if we don't need exit from the garage, then we could block that off. And you know, sometimes we do that for parties, or maybe our neighbor has a party. We said, you know, you can use that. So.
With the flooding and just the water issues, have y'all looked at what would be required to get the permeability within the allowed percentages?
Yes, our landscaper said we have to rip up just about the entire driveway. It's a perfectly good driveway, you know. So, I mean, we're having the off-street parking be permeable because we were you know, advised that this is, you know, relevant for zoning. So.
Staff, what is the standard with regard to the porch being 20 feet up above the portion below? It would be considered
permeable if it weren't covered, but, I mean, it might, it's a part of the house because the structure's covered. And so, yeah. It's roof. Yeah.
And do you guys consider pea gravel permeable? Right,
At 50% permeable,
okay.
50% impervious.
So we've got pea gravel at my house, and I just know that it doesn't hold water any more than grass does, so.
Right.
So the extent of my knowledge on that is in that engineering report. Is that sufficient or not? He had a diagram. I'm not, let's see, it was on that letter that he wrote. He drew a diagram. Is that what you're
Yeah.
getting at there?
We've got that in the package.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that understandable, and does that address the concern?
Would a retention system benefit the permeability?
No. I mean, the way it's laid out and everything is draining toward Devon, there wouldn't, where the right-of-way is, there's so much distance between, there's not really anywhere to put a detention system in the front yard. Yeah, the slope, it looks like it falls off pretty steeply off the back, so I'm not sure that would work either. Also from the proposed plan, Sherry just pointed this out, it looks like the proposal takes those permeable pavers all the way to the existing gutter. He's gonna have to have, to the right-of-way line, he's gonna have to have solid concrete for the apron. So it's gonna be worse in the right-of-way.
I'll move we vote to approve case number SV 250701, 208 Devon Drive.
I'll second that.
Second, all right. Mr. Gear,
No.
Ms. Hand,
No.
Mr. Johnson,
No.
Ms. Childs.
No?
Yeah, yes, I'm sorry.
No?
No, I'm sorry. And Mr. Perkel.
No.
Okay.
Your request has been denied, and if you have any questions in regards to that, you can contact Ms. Emily Harris Miller to proceed.
Okay, thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. We will move to our second case here, which is SV 250702, 401 Devon Drive. Please approach, state your name and address, and write that down for us, please.
I'm Virginia Foster and 401 Devon Drive. I went ahead and wrote it down first. I have printed out some handouts. I know y'all might have them, but I did print them out in color if y'all want them.
I
Just
printed
not-
them and distributed them. You
Okay,
sent them to Hunter, right?
Huh?
You
I
sent
did,
them-
yeah.
They're
Do y'all want it?
colored too, so
Oh,
no
okay,
problem.
perfect.
So this?
Yes,
Yep.
yeah. No, it's nothing fancy, but just so y'all kind of had the visual with the fence where the flags are. So my name's Virginia Foster. We've lived in Homewood for 7 years. We love this community. My husband and I are both veterinarians. We have 2 small children, 2 dogs. We recently moved from Mayfair over to Devon, and we're really excited about our new house. But we also want to fence in the yard just to create a safe play space for kids and dogs. So I'm here today to discuss a variance that would allow us to build our fence a little bit closer to our property line. As it stands now, we would need to build the fence 9 feet back from the property line, which is already set back 14 feet from the curb. So it'd be pretty far into the yard. And then In Homewood, of course, most of the lots are smaller. Ours is 2. It's 0.2 acres total. So having the fence, yeah, just set back 9 feet just really kind of cuts into that space. So this is our hardship, which is why we're here to request an 8-foot variance. And the reason it's 8 feet is just because there are some trees along that property line, so we would be building the fence back anyways a little bit just to account for roots and whatnot. I've provided pictures, just kind of set out the flags. I know it was kind of a sunny morning, so it's not a great visual, but just to give you an idea that it's not like we're building it right up on the curb or anything. And then in walking the neighborhood, again, we're new to Hollywood. We've kind of been over on the Mayfair side, but I was just kind of noting because I've never built a fence before in Homewood, so just kind of like looking, and there are a couple examples of fences on corner lots. I think one's at the corner of Windsor and Hampton, and then there's also 2 at the corner of Devon and Hampton that are built closer to the curb than ours would be if the variance was approved. Because either way, we'd be at least 15 feet back from the curb. We also plan to build like a 4-foot metal fence, so we don't want to impact visibility. We're excited about the yard. We want to be able to sit out there, see the kids walking to school, all that. We want it to be safe. And so the way our lot's situated, even with a 1-foot setback, if that were granted, it would not pose any safety risks, like visibility risks for drivers, utility workers, anything like that. We've also gotten approval from Alabama Power since there's power lines at the back of the property. So I think that's it. Thank y'all for your consideration. Happy to answer any questions from, I'm not saying I may be the only one, but yeah.
Thank you for presenting
Yes.
your case in front of us. I would like to open it up to any public members out there that would like to state. I do not see anyone approaching, so we'll close the public portion down. Mr. Secretary, did we receive any communications offline?
I did not on
Okay.
this case.
Thank you. And would like to open it up here to the board, ask any questions that they have.
Perfect.
I'm not great with math. Do you know what the square footage of your backyard would be with the 9-foot setback and then with just the 1-foot setback?
Such a good question. I do not know the answer to that. Sorry.
A good guess would be it would take away 550 square feet.
Thank you.
What percentage would that be of the backyard?
Oh, man.
I know, it's hard to say. I know, I'm not
It's
even.
like, it looks to be like 1/8.
If you're wondering where the fence would be, is where the house is. So you can kind of look at the.
Right.
I do think it would visually, honestly look, I mean, I know I'm obviously biased because I want to make it a little bigger, but I think it would also look better if it was out a little bit from the house, because it does like look a little weird, like it, just if you were like, didn't know anything about Homewood bylaw, you know, that you have to set back, like it looks a little weird to be set back that far, I guess, and still have a fenced-in yard, if that makes sense. Just because I think it's like a 23 feet setback from the curb, so it just looks like. So basically be building it on the opposite side of those two. Y'all go back to the backyard. Yeah, see like on the far side of those two. I'm glad y'all could pull that up. That's much better than my pictures. What's that?
Thank you. Yes,
Perfect.
thank you.
Honestly, that view may be the one that you were just at may actually be better, just so you can kind of see the, sorry. If you scroll back
So
that
it's
way and then
about
like
where the-
pan
about
it, yeah, and then
the
just pan it
tree.
that way, cause then you can kinda see where the trees are. Yeah, so we'd be building it on the inside of those trees with like a little bit of setback for the roots. I put a 1 foot variant, honestly, it may end up being a little bit further back than that, just depending on the tree roots and whatnot. But it would be somewhere in that neighborhood. So again, it's not really like right up on the road. We're gonna have it metal, we're not gonna like, try not to impact visibility. We purely want it just for a safety thing for dogs and kids.
I have a staff question, you might be able to clarify.
Yes.
On a variance request, if approved, would it apply only to the chain link fence, or would that allow them to change the fence layer at a privacy fence,
Which would make a huge difference.
which
in
would make a huge
your
difference?
Thought process. The cases are usually approved or denied as presented. You can make sure to add that and add the contingency or, have her offer that only an open metal fence in a similar style of 4 feet in height, if you wanna limit the height, is being approved for that area.
Okay,
Because yes, you're right, an 8 foot with privacy fence would make a huge difference.
thank you for clarifying.
And I mean, I know obviously we personally don't have any intention, like, I don't want a privacy fence. I don't wanna move after all the crazy moving in the midst of the Devon Birmingham Waterworks going on too, so. No intention, like, again, you wanna make sure that's clear for the next owners if they decided to build a privacy fence in however many years, but no intentions of that here.
Have you guys, at least, or your fence contractor, does he have any details for, how the fence is getting constructed? Because I am wondering about those roots. I mean, will you all make sure that you're not gonna cause the trees
Yes.
to come down?
Yeah, that's what we've and that's why it may be back a little bit further, but yeah, no, we love the shade, we love the trees, we're gonna take care of the
Okay, good.
trees.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And I think Michael might have said chain link, but the
Yes.
type, the style of fence that was included in your packet is
Yes.
the proposed
Yeah.
style for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
That's
gonna
what it
be a
would look like?
black yeah, we went with the black. We were gonna go with bronze initially, but I think black actually is gonna look better in this case.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll move we vote to approve case SV 250702, 401 Devon Drive.
I'll second it. Oh, that is.
Yes, as presented with the particular style of fencing included in the proposal.
And height,
Uh,
and height.
And Ms. Childs, you seconded that?
Yes,
All
I'll
right,
second
okay. All right. Mr. Gear,
Yes.
Ms. Hand,
No.
Mr. Johnson. No. Ms. Childs,
Yes.
and Mr. Perkel.
Yes. Fortunately, your motion has been denied. If you have any further questions, you can contact Emily Harris Miller. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to close here and ask, is there any communications that we have from the staff before adjourning?
Just a distribution of the zoning ordinance, the most latest and greatest, so.
The latest and greatest.
For the record, there will not be a meeting next month due to lack of business.
Thank you for placing that in here, and Other than that, we appreciate it. Meeting's adjourned.